It's not the glue, Mandy. It's just you. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a fun video for you guys today. We're going to be sitting down to play with some makeup, but today we're doing a makeup look that is outside of my comfort zone. I opened one of the drawers next to me that literally never gets opened because it houses my very small collection of false eyelashes. Yes, we are going to be trying out some false eyelashes today. Forewarning, this might be a little bit comical because I am not one that ever wears false eyelashes, but I just felt like sitting down and trying something different. And we will see how it turns out. So besides the lashes, I've got some other favorites here as well, some favorite face products, a favorite lip combination that I have not used for a very long time. I have the Raw Beauty Christie palette that I have yet to use on my channel, and some other goodies. So this should be a lot of fun. I myself am curious to see how this is going to turn out. But before we get into it, I want to welcome any of you that are new here. Welcome. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell just so you know every time I upload a new video. And now let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so we are going to start off with a little bit of primer. I'm just going to take a little bit of this MAC strobe cream. I don't even know what color this is in. I know they have a couple different options of this stuff. If I can figure it out, I will link it down below for you guys, but it's been a while since I've used this. Let's jump into some foundation. I do want to do my foundation first. Today I'm going to take the CYO Long Lasting foundation. This stuff is funny. I have not used this very much, but every time I use it, I have a hard time pumping it out. I have it in the shade 105, so we're going to take that on a brush. And I'm just going to start applying that to my face. This one actually matches me pretty well. It does kind of have an interesting undertone to it though. It has kind of that like almost grayish undertone that reminds me a little bit of the Misha BB cream. If you try the lighter shades, if you do have fair skin, their lighter two shades, 21 and 23, have kind of a gray, almost ashy undertone to it. But once you get it on your skin, I find it works pretty well. At least on my skin. I'm sure it's not going to be the same for everyone, obviously. I'm equally excited about this video because I think it'll be fun just to try something new, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. I've been uploading videos to YouTube for quite a while now, and I think I have one other video that might have been like the third or fourth video I ever put on my channel where I tried to put on false lashes. And I think even then it was only like a half strip of lashes. So yeah, this is gonna be completely new to me. I never ever wear them. And my guess is it's going to take me a while to figure out how to get them on. And that's just assuming that my Duo lash glue still works. That stuff's probably over a year old as well, so this could get very interesting. And that looks good for foundation. Let's jump into some concealer. Today I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. So I'm taking the concealer and just going to tap a little bit of this under my eye. This concealer, I mentioned this in my declutter video if you happen to watch that, but this concealer works really well, especially when you use your finger. You can use a sponge if you get it started with your finger, if you start to really warm it up and press it into your skin before going in with a sponge, but I find all around it just works better just taking some time and really working it into your skin, because the longer you work with it with the warmth of your finger, the more it kind of melts and sinks into your skin. But it's not a quick one. It does take a few minutes. Alright, so that looks good for concealer. I do want to add just a little bit of powder. I'm going to take my e.l.f. Halo powder today. I'm just going to get that in. I have some in the cap. I'm just going to work it into this kabuki brush right here. I'm going to start by applying it between my eyebrows and here on my forehead. And then I'm going to go along the sides of my mouth. And just with the very little bit that's left, I'm just going to go over my eyelids and kind of my under eye area. I mean, there's hardly any product left on here. Right, let's go into bronzer. Today I'm going to take my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm sure you guys have seen they came out with new packaging of this. I don't know yet if the formula is the same. I was actually looking at it at my drugstore the other day, and it didn't look like on the packaging that I read that usually it will say new formula. It didn't say anything like that, so I'm assuming or hoping that it's just new packaging. I think it would be really sad if they changed the formula of this. I saw that a couple people have done videos on these. I think Allie Glines did a comparison video. Haven't actually watched that video yet though. So I don't know though. For me, I still have not hit pan on this thing, which blows my mind because I use this bronzer all the time and I have had it for probably almost 3 years now. I have a pretty significant dip in there, but yeah, I've yet to hit pan. I feel like I really dig in pretty aggressively when I go into this bronzer. But yeah, it just seems to last forever. If you have hit pan on a butter bronzer, I applaud you. That was not a sarcastic slow clap. That is really impressive because I've been trying for years and have yet to do it. Alright, for blush today, I want to go in with 2 of the Juicy Pink blushes and mix them together. I'm going to mix the shades Guava with the shade CRO1. Alright, so there is the 2 swatches of the different shades, and then I just like to take my finger and kind of mix it all together. And that is the new shade. Is that not so pretty? Now to find my stippling brush. Take just a little bit. I like to start on one side. And I like to kind of go back and forth just so I don't get all of the product on one side. That looks great. Now let's go in with a little bit of highlighter. And today we're going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. For this I like to just use my, honestly I usually just like to use my finger or a sponge. Let's just take my finger, have it on the back of my hand, and we're just going to tap this kind of on the top of where I put that blush. Oh, this stuff is so pretty. This is another product that I need to wear more often. Put just a little bit up here above my eyebrows kind of. Then I'm going to go back into that blush brush with just what's left on here. I'm just going to kind of run that over where those 2 products kind of meet, just so they're blended. There we go. All right, let's move into eyebrows next. I'm going to start off by taking a little bit of my e.l.f. little wax stick here and run that through my brows. Then I'm going to go in with my, it's just my Ulta Beauty brow pencil, but I'm going to start by really just kind of brushing these. Spend a little bit of extra time on my brows today. I want them to look extra caterpillar-like, so really spending some time like brushing them up. Then I will go in with the actual pencil. We'll fill in just a couple of areas. Brush them back up. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of the ColourPop Clear Brow Boss Gel. Kind of set those in place. Alright guys, moving on to the eyes. I do want to start out with just a little bit of the Alter Ego eye primer. I'm just going to work a little bit of this onto my eyelids. Now I'm going to jump right into the At For Sight palette by ColourPop and Raw Beauty Christy. This is such a fun palette, you guys. I often find that I like to pair this with something a little bit like a lighter shimmer on the lid, but this one is actually lighter than it looks in the pan, and it is really, really beautiful. We will be using this shade today. I might dip into a little bit of a highlighter, probably on the inner corner, but we'll see how it goes. Let's start off by going in with this shade in the corner, the shade Puffball, and I'm going to start kind of working that mostly on this outer part of the lid, and then just running it kind of through my crease towards the center. This palette actually reminds me a little bit of my Natasha Denona Safari palette. It's a mostly matte palette, and it has color in it, but not bold colors. There are a lot of jewel tones in here, which I really, really love. And I actually think like some of these shades really do remind me a lot of some of the shades in the Safari palette. So I'm kind of wanting to do like a smoky looking eye with a bright inner corner. We might do a little bit of like a cut crease on the front part of my lid just to really brighten it up. But overall, I do want to have it pretty dark out here. Let's take that same shade on just a small kind of smudge brush, and we're going to run that along the lower lash line. I really do want to build up some color on this lower lash line because I do have a feeling that wearing false eyelashes up on top, I probably will need a little more on my lower lash line than usual. Okay, and I just feel like I put way too much. Crap, already butchering it, and we're not even to the lashes yet. Okay, and actually I'm going to zoom you guys in just a tad. Alright, now we're going to dip into this green right here in the corner. This is the shade Fiddlehead, and I'm going to take that on this Rougher number 14 brush. I'm just going to start building this color up, kind of the same place where we put the brown, but a little bit, not quite as widespread. And this color I really do want to show up on that outer part of the lid. Just dipped into a tiny bit more. I'm just running this right by this outer corner. Not really pulling it in, I'm just like sticking right there. So I'm just going to take a little bit more. We're going to dip into that green shade again. I do want to run that kind of across, almost across the center point. So this is going to darken it up a little bit, and then we're going to add a little bit of concealer just to brighten it back up. But I want some of this green to kind of go in a little further than I normally do with a darker shade like this. Then we're going to put that shimmer on top of this. Let's add just a little bit of concealer to that inner part of my lid. I'm just going to take this little concealer brush right here and take the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade, I think this is the shade Fair, and I'm just going to pop this on this inner kind of third of my lid. I do kind of want a sharp line right here at the front, and then I'm taking my finger just where that line is, mostly just to kind of press that in and blend it out just a little bit so I don't have that harsh line showing through when we go on top with the lid shimmer. So we're going to start off back to the Raw Beauty Christie palette. We're going to take this shimmer right here, which is the shade Evergreen. Such a pretty shade, you guys. Oh, so pretty. Actually reminds me a little bit of the shade Sponsored, but it doesn't quite have that like brownish red shift to it from the Jackie Aina palette. I forgot to mention that. So I'm basically just putting this on the center of the lid. I'm leaving the very innermost part of my lid open. We're going to put something a little bit brighter right there. Alright, and for that inner part of my lid, I'm going to take this shade right here. This is from Sydney Grace. It's the shade Demure. It's just a very kind of golden champagne, very shimmery color. And I'm going to take that on my Rephr number 3 brush. I'm just going to place that right on that inner corner. Alright, so we're going to go into the lashes, but before we do that, I do want to just put a little bit of this black liner on my upper waterline. This is from Persona. Okay, so I have a couple pairs of lashes to pick from. These all were sent to me by Alter Ego. These are the 3 that I'm leaning towards. So we're going to go with these ones. These are the Royal lashes from Alter Ego. I'm assuming I probably will need to trim these. Okay, so I'm going to trim these a little bit and we'll be right back. So I am going to start with my right. I have this Duo brush on lash adhesive. This one is in the black shade. Hopefully I don't get it all over the place. And hopefully it still works, guys. It's a little old. I think I've had this sitting in my drawer for maybe a year now. I need to cue some circus music here, guys, because I do not know what I'm doing. Fun fact while we wait for this to dry, do you know that I almost didn't start a YouTube channel because I could not get a handle on how to apply these, and I thought if you're going to have a YouTube channel on makeup, you have to put false eyelashes on or at least know how to do it. Glad I didn't listen to my younger self. Alright guys, I might have to really lean in here. Can't tell if that looks okay or if it looks terrible, but if I mess with it, I am positive I will just make it look worse. That's not gonna work. It's been 20 minutes. How does anybody do this? I do not know. Okay, this might be as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna go and try and fix things with liner. Oh boy. Alright you guys, so this is as good as things are going to get. They do not look so good. This one is a little bit out too far. I had to really do some work with the liner to get it to look like things are alright. Then I had to go in with some makeup remover to remove some glue. Let's jump into lips and finish things off. So I'm gonna start off by going in with my MAC Whirl lip pencil. We're just gonna apply a little bit of this. I do want to overline my lips just a little bit. Alright, for the lipstick today, I'm going to use the shade Blankety by MAC, one of my favorite lighter nudes. If you have very fair skin and you're looking for a lighter cool tone nude, this one is so pretty. Really quickly, I want to add just a little bit more blush. I'm going to take just a little bit of the shade Guava, PKO3. I'm just going to tap a tiny bit. Alright, you guys, here is the finished makeup look. Honestly, these things feel like spiders attached to my eyelashes. I don't know how anybody wears these things around. They are so uncomfortable. But my hat is off to those of you that have both the tolerance and also the skill level to put these things on. I certainly do not. This was very difficult for me. Took me 4 tries, 20 minutes. Honestly, I got glue all over my eyelid, all over my hands, and I really had to do some touching up. And if you guys were zoomed in closer, I'm sure that you could see how botched this eye right here is. But it was a lot of fun to try, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me try something new. Overall, I think the makeup look turned out really nicely. I am a big fan of this eyeshadow palette. These were so easy to work with. I love this color combination. I think it is so pretty. Love the lip combination. The skin looks really nice. All in all, pretty successful, I think. This definitely could have gone worse, I will say that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you are doing well. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, I hope that you'll do that before you leave. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you again, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Yes, I have a nerd string on my glasses because they're too big. Do you guys want to hear a funny story? I actually asked my kids for Christmas to get me one of these things, and they refused. They said, absolutely not, Mom. You are not 70 years old, and you know you're gonna go out into public with it on without knowing. And I was like, of course I won't. I'll just wear it around the house so my glasses stay on my face. Lo and behold, I actually accidentally wore that out into public, and it was literally like sitting on the top of my ponytail like this. I was walking into the store and I had to rip it off really quickly before anybody saw. They were right. I almost made a fool of myself. What would I have done? From Sydney Grace, this is the shade Demure. There's a glob of glue on the inner corner. Every time I close my eye, it grabs that lower eyelash and sticks to it. So annoying.